What's up, guys? My name is Connor. Today we're back with more Scrap Mechanic Nomad Survival, and in the last episode I had a brick, and then a lot of people were saying I should make it into a castle, so that's what I did, and then I ran out of wood. I started making it into a castle, so I actually took the vehicle and widened it pretty significantly. I put a hole in the back. We're going to put a drawbridge here eventually with like a garage door and stuff. But for now, it's just a hole. And then I was working on the crafting and refinery stuff, and then I ran out of wood. So yeah, that's basically where we're at. I kind of want to put the two refineries here because essentially you can kind of tell that sort of trying to make like a little bit of a tower situation. So I want to have the 4 towers have a little bit of an overhang with, you know, gaps in it so we can shoot down them and defend ourselves. And the whole thing still drives on that wheel setup. And it's actually just the right height so we can kind of crouch walk underneath the, or not. Sometimes you can crouch walk underneath it. Okay, well, not always, but anyway, yeah, depending on the terrain. Regardless, it works well. I think it's great. It clears the ground pretty decently. And yeah, I want to build the crafting station kind of in the front, along the front, and then that way we have as much space as possible. The crafting used to be this way. I broke it all off and just sort of welded it together, but you can see, wait, where is our, I think it's up, yeah, it's up here. I was using it to craft more wood. Literally out of wood. Like I had no wood and I just put 3 saw blades on the front of this and drove around and collected a bunch of wood and then still went through all that, and this is all the wood we have left. It takes a lot of blocks to make anything. But yeah, I want to build these towers a little bit higher up so we have, you know, nice little castle towers. This is going to be like the upper courtyard area probably, and then maybe we'll build like a little keep structure at the back here, you know, in between these 4 towers or something and have some bots in it. But I'm trying to think of a way we can get like the chests laid across here with the craft bot maybe sitting right above them, and then connect the refineries in on either side and do like a chest loop here. And then that way all our chests are up front here, and then we can have our garage in the back and everything will be great. So that's the plan. I guess we should go build. In the meantime, we can actually drive it around. It surprisingly drives better than the brick of a building did, probably because it's wider. But essentially, yeah, we're now just driving an entire castle around. So we got to get metal reinforcements around the outside. This seems like a lot more work now. It's going to be huge. Like, this is going to be a massive vehicle. But it's very lag-free. The wheels are all protected now as well. So that's kind of nice, you know. It means that we can drive around and we don't have to worry about the bots getting at us. And, you know, it's just a nice vehicle. It does take up the whole sort of width of the road, which is, you know, something we gotta think about. But, you know, it's got that suspension setup, the wonderful suspension, not suspension. And overall, I mean, it flows really, really well. I do want to make other vehicles that deploy out of it, hence the garage door and stuff, but, you know, this is pretty good. So we're gonna head on up to the farmer's field. Not that I really need to grow crops, but we might as well grow some stuff. Just to, look at, we can just, excuse me, oh, got one of them, hold on. Maybe we can... Did I get him? No. It's not as good at crushing bots as the previous one was for some reason. I think maybe the floor is a little bit too high up and they just sort of get tumbled underneath. You can see, like, did he die that time? But yeah, gonna try and just maximize the space in the front to have all the weight in the front. That'll help too when we're climbing up hills and stuff like that. I think we just crushed another cow. And then ultimately make the top look like an entire castle area. And we'll just be able to park it on top of our crops, and then defend it by, you know, shooting stuff. We do have a spud gun now, so I want to grow some spuds. Also gonna grow some just basic food items. Probably some blueberries and some oranges as well, just because, but realistically, I don't have a watering vehicle yet either, so I'm not gonna grow too much. But let's see if we can get up this hill. I have no idea. This is probably a bad way. It's very wide now. But you know what? It kind of works. Honestly, it's pretty impressive how ridiculous you can make, like, this seems small, you know? Like, it's obviously very large. It's a lot of blocks we're moving. I put the craft bot on it and it doesn't even feel the weight of the craft bot. That's how large this stupid thing is. But it feels small when you drive around the Scrap Mechanic world. You know, like, it really does. It doesn't feel like that large of a vehicle. Compared to the hut or this farmer's field, it's kind of, did you die? I think you, nope, he didn't. See, he doesn't die. But yeah, it's pretty big here. Look at that, now we got a nice little castle, and we'll just, you know, be able to defend it, and... Dude, really? Bro, really? Oh my, you know what, that's such a waste of ammo. Alright, I'm gonna grab some soil plots and plant some stuff, and then while that's planting, I'm gonna rearrange these chests and try and make this all a little bit neater, and see what we can do. But yeah, let's grab some stuff. So maybe we can plant like everything's a mess. It was organized at one point, and everything's just become a mess again, and I'm really kind of sad about it. One of the things that's weird to me is in survival, so in regular creative, you have multiple hotbars, and in survival, you only have the one, which doesn't really apply too much because in regular creative, I really never use the multiple hotbars, but it's just sort of interesting that that's not a thing in survival, and I don't really know why. It would be very convenient to have multiple hotbars. I guess because your hotbar is also an inventory space, but even still, or if you're, you know, you could have a hotbar here, and then this could cycle through all the different levels. Like right now we have 4 layers of inventory, so put the 4th here, and then let my hotbar pick which row I'm in, you know? Things that would be cool when Scrap Mechanic finally gets updated in 2037. Okay, so all the plants are watered, so I'll start off with just 20 blueberries. Blueberries are really like one of the best plants because they provide both food and hunger. I'm pretty sure they're like a better version of a beet. And then we'll put just 20 spuds on either side of that, so that should be good enough. I really do need a watering sort of vehicle as well, a little tanker vehicle. Ultimately I just gotta make a tractor. It's really, yeah, a tractor and then a flyer, but a tractor. So we're just gonna park right up here. There we go. Did you guys just spawn for a raid, or were you like already just chilling? I'm a little, excuse me. Hey. Hi, yeah, no, that's my castle. Can you please not destroy it? That would be great, thank you. Yeah, you too, yeah, you're... Thanks. I don't really want to use spuds to, like, you know, kill people. I'd rather just beat them with a hammer, but it works, so. Also, I sort of fixed the brake problem with the vehicle. I realized if you make it so freaking heavy, Scrap Mechanic, oh no, it still slides. Never mind, I lied. I didn't fix the brake problem with the vehicle. We're gonna put the lift right there. That should stop it, so we don't end up in the water. But yeah, it's sort of a problem. I had a suggestion which was phenomenal, and I thought it was great. If you use a spud gun, you can actually have like a spud gun and a cardboard deploying system that can deploy cardboard using a vacuum pump that then like hits the ground, right? And it'll attach the cardboard to the ground, and then you can have a spud gun that breaks it. You know, so that's sort of a cool way to do that. Anyway, let's try and fix this up, and then we gotta move this whole thing. So first thing I gotta do is see if we can just get some chests across the front here, and then maybe we can put the craft bot up on top of them. All right, the raid timer's got 3 minutes left, which is good. Castle's still in place. We'll sleep there. I think this should work now. That way. Oh, hold on. There's kind of like a wasted gap in here. Bit of wasted space underneath the refinery. I'm just leaving it hollow rather than filling it in so we save as much weight as possible. I mean, ultimately, we could shove vacuum pipes in here if we needed them for something. So we'll see if that ever becomes a thing, but... in the meantime, just gonna try and get this thing to fit before the raid shows up. Okay, it's gonna work. That's pretty cool. Big fan of that. It's not exactly centered. The vehicle is odd width, and the craft bot is even width. You can see this stack of chests. There's 1 extra block on this side compared to this side. But that's fine. It is what it is. I don't know if the weight of the craft bot is centered. It obviously like looks like more of the craft bot is on this side of it, but you know, because of this little extra piece. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all not important. Oh, that was a completely empty chest. Oh, okay. Now I need to connect this refinery up to here, and that refinery up to there, and we've got an extra chest. Maybe we could do this, right? We can't put one below. Does this cut into the wheel well? Yeah, that would cut into the wheel well. Okay, so let's not do that. How are we on the raid timer? 1 minute? All right, so I can put another chest there, and then I guess ultimately, actually, what we should do is probably just get this to go over to here and do like a piece that comes into there and connects up to there, and then, or some sort of a splitter. Yeah, because ultimately we can put more chests along this side and more chests along this side, I think is what's going to happen, right? We need to be able to expand on both sides. So I need to find all my vacuum pipes. We don't really have time for this right now. Hold on. I'm just going to grab all these chests and throw them down here. And then I got to defend this raid in T-minus 39 seconds. So let's just grab these guys. Yep, throw you guys down here as well. Yeah, because see, we already have too many, like, we already have too many chests for this space, and we don't have enough chests to store all the stuff we need. So if we could make 2 more chest lines, that would be great. So we need one here to act as a T that lets us T between this and that because there's no T blocks. And then we need another one on this side, same thing, that acts as a T. And then I think the whole system works because no matter what, if it's all connected, they'll just pull from anywhere to feed the craft bot. I think that would be fine. 8 seconds. All right, let's go up top and see what we got. Oh, yeah, no, let's fall back down. Let's go up top. What do we got? What do we got? Where's the raid? Hey, bots? Hey, bots? All right. You're dead. Let's go. They're afraid of the saw blades, which is great. Like, ultimately, I think the bottom of the castle just needs to be surrounded with saw blades and metal 3. What are you doing? You guys got close. Kudos for trying. The vehicle is sliding forward a bit. All right, I think we're good. I wasted a bunch of spuds. We had like 50 plus 44, I think, at the beginning. So now we're down to a little less than, I mean, we're through a whole stack of 50, right? So we'll see if we get enough spuds back from this. All right, what's up, dude? Yeah, you see, they're afraid of saw blades. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna grab all the vacuum pumps we have. I'll drop all the buckets back. We're not gonna grow anything else. Once this this crop grows, I'll probably just leave the soil here, honestly, and then come back later for it, because, you know, it's not like it's going anywhere. But yeah, we'll deal with that. Do I have any more vacuum pumps? Is that, oh yeah, there we go. Beauty. Okay, I think that's it. So we need a chest up here to act as a T between these two. So hold on, this needs to loop around first. Let's get some pipes working here. So this refinery has to come over, and then it has to basically get, oh, it's a really awkward spot. It almost has to go, okay, it has to go out straight a little bit first to be a little better gapped, and then it has to come back this way. I think it has to go out straight one more, maybe? And then we have to hook a chest up to this. Okay, so these come straight, and then we align this with that. I don't know if this is actually going to be, this might not work, because the alignment is weird, and we can't get, oh wait, hold on, maybe. See, because I can't get that, there's no way you can make that, okay, this is the wrong spacing, regardless. It needs to be this tiny guy, but you still can't make this, see how you can't make, you won't be able to make that S up? All right, I got to figure something better out here. I'll be back once I figure out how to do this better. All right, I'm not super happy about the excess of vacuum tubing this uses, but it works. So this would go up. It's just because of the way the 90s work in Scrap Mechanic, there's no flexible vacuum tubing. So this has to come out, go up, and like first has to come out a little bit just to line up with this block line, and then has to come up and then go over here and then come over here just to get back to here. I guess I can move this forward. Hold on, but I think that needs to be there for this to work now, because now I can put a chest there, and then this chest can go underneath it like so. There we go. See, and now these would all be connected in the system. Whoops. Well, we could do that one that way too. It doesn't really matter. But there we go. So now this one we can still access as well in this back little corner. Ultimately, that's probably where all the refined goods are going to get dumped. But realistically, if I need to craft, let's say, stone, so there's cracked stone, which I only have here, this should still be able to pull from it and make brick, which it can. That's so ridiculously cool. They just have to be connected. So now, ultimately, all I gotta do is duplicate this same setup over there. So I need 5 curves and 3 straights. 1, 2, 3 straights and 5 curves. And I have 3 straights, and I just need to get 5 curves. All right, let's see if we can make some parts here. And are the plants grown? They're not. Perfect. They're actually probably going to pop up right through the floor, which is going to be funny. All right, so I'm going to take the bed. We're just going to put this on the roof for now, because ultimately it probably won't get destroyed up there. And we can just respawn there. That's fine. Okay, so I need to make 5 curves. Metal 2, right. Well, we got enough to do that. This is all the metal we have in the world, though, and I have no wood. Like, literally none. there's actually none in the system anywhere. So yeah, we need, the next priority is to take the metal that we have and take the saw blades and make a proper like bobcat vehicle we can store in the back of this. I'm gonna use the wood we have left to actually build a little bit of a garage door here. Get this all done up, that'll be beautiful. Little drawbridge, you know. Well, not really a drawbridge, just a garage door. It's kind of like a modern wooden castle because, you know, we have a giant amount of crafting facilities inside of it. But anyway, all right, so that's metal 2. 1, 2, I need more glass. We can make more sand, that's not a problem. And then glass, we probably need water in this. No, we just need sand. Oh, okay, perfect. Now, this one might actually be a little bit different because there's an extra block gap here. This one barely just didn't fit a chest. That's why I had to use this vacuum pipe. But this one might actually fit a chest. This is all gonna look a little bit ridiculous, but it doesn't really matter because, yeah, it's actually gonna fit a chest. See, that's perfect. It looks ridiculous, but again, this isn't really for show. This is all functional space. You'll never have to get into the refineries. Like, they should except for now when I have to drain them. But realistically, you should never have to go into the refineries. They just refine and poop out blocks, right? That's just their whole shtick. So, right, more parts. Crafting, glass. Make some glass, perfect. This already, oh, did those all grow? No, they're just more grown than they were. But yeah, this feels so much cooler than the previous building I had. And it's much more functional this way too. Look, we have all this space for activities. We can just come up here and grab the stuff. I'm gonna patch up that hole up there so that we don't have a place you can fall through. Like, we're gonna have the staircases will be in one of these back 2 corners, you know, like probably both of them, to be honest. We'll patch up these 2. And again, you'll just never go in this front area unless you absolutely have to. But I'm keeping all the weight in the front up here because that way when we're going up hills, the vehicle doesn't try to like flip over or something stupid, right? Anyway, that's glass, that's good. Craft 2 more of those, need more glass. I might honestly have to just stick with the toilet seat method of going up and down. I mean, I gotta do a piston elevator at some point just because it'll be cool. But toilet seats are highly effective and they're very quick and they're useful in scrap mechanic because they work at all angles. But anyway, we're gonna build ourselves a little seat area again, and we'll just reconnect everything back up, and then we'll get out of here. So we'll put that there. We'll just put our, you know, whatever next to it. Again, this is all probably gonna be temporary because I think what I want to try and do is I gotta build the towers up first. We gotta get more wood, build the towers up first. And then once I have the towers built, maybe build some kind of a center keep structure and then put like the driving in that center structure would be the idea, right? And the towers will all have a little bit of overhang and it'll all look really cool and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, gonna do that. And just connect all this up for the 700th time. I've been connecting this up a lot because pretty much every time I have to rebuild something, I have to move the seat. And every time you have to move the seat, you have to reconnect it. And this vehicle has a lot of connections because it's got a lot of wheels. So, you know, it's not a big deal. We just gotta do a lot of this. I like this much better. Parking on, I really should have put the crops in the middle of the field. Gotta get a watering vehicle so we don't have to be as close to bucket. But yeah, it's much better. Okay, I did plant spuds. I thought for a second I accidentally planted like cotton and I was like, that would have been really stupid. All right, perfect. So that gives us a total of, oh, like over like 100 spuds, basically. There was exactly 100 spuds, actually. So that gives us 100 spuds, that's good, and 20 blueberries. That's not bad. That's a pretty good crop. Get a little watering vehicle going. We'd be able to harvest that a lot faster. So that's gonna be our food for a bit, is just blueberries. Now I'm gonna just get out of here before that shows up. And then we're gonna put a little bit of a drawbridge on the back. We're gonna go back to the mechanic station real quick and just to avoid the raid. Oh, this is cool. What? If I was building a base, I would build here. This is so nice. This is like a tile that wanted to be flat for some reason, but there's no structure here. It looks like it should have had a structure here, but it isn't. So it's just a flat tile on the side of the hill. You can see like the hill goes and then just becomes like someone took the paintbrush tool, you know, and just made it perfectly flat. I don't know why, but it's so cool. All right, anyway, let's go back down to the mechanic station. I love when you get onto the roads and then, or, you know, you realize that the roads, it's like the perfect width vehicle, you know? If I made this any bigger, we would have some problems, but this is perfect. This is actually exactly the width the roads were intended to be. And it, you know, it motors pretty quick. You know, it's a pretty quick castle. All right, we're back at the mechanic station. Gonna just blast this guy. Nice. All right, and then we're gonna build a really quick ramp system here. So I might as well take this off because I think you know, we're gonna actually build this up proper. I literally built this temporary just so I could actually, you know, get some mining done and build this brick of wood. And that's literally all the, it's insane how much wood this is. Like it's really quite nuts how much wood it takes to do stuff. But that's a beautiful system, and we got to get that controller. I think I have other controllers too, but that's fine. I just tried to use a seat to go down. Don't worry about it. And then we're just gonna take this controller and put it somewhere, I guess, right in the middle here, above that door. And then we'll build a door that has to deploy down. We'll make the door out of wood, but I want the hinged part of it to just be metal 3 so that if it gets attacked, you know, it doesn't get destroyed, right? So we'll take that, and we'll take that, and we'll just go and make a little sort of metal 3 cup like that. And we'll do the same thing on this side. And the idea is that, you know, they'd have to destroy a lot more blocks to get that to really get wrecked. And then we'll put a bearing there, a bearing there. We'll put another metal 3 block in there and in there. And then we just gotta connect this whole thing up with some wood. All right, perfect. So that's like that. And then we connect this up to this and to that. And really quickly, we're just gonna take, I should put a logic gate on that with an XOR as well. We'll get a switch, but it should have a switch on the outside. It should be closed to start, and then we'll open it when you press the button. Open it to maybe. Well, that's an interesting situation. They can literally walk right up your ramp. Good to know. The tote bots will just walk. You gotta make sure your door's closed at night. That does not do anything. Why did that not close my door? XOR. Oh, it's just incredibly slow. All right, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so it's 1 block short. So we just gotta do this. And like that. And then like that. And there we go. Now we have a door. We can open the door. That deploys out pretty decently. Feel like we could drive a vehicle up that no problem. And then we close the door again. It's pretty good. I'm a pretty big fan of that. I'm gonna eat some food because I'm gonna die here in a sec. Gotta dump some inventory. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Got some blueberries, got some tomatoes. Where is the rest of the food? That is not it. Gotta go sort through all this inventory again. It is a nightmare. There's some bananas and stuff. Gonna just keep that in there. I'll eat this banana. Wait, no, I haven't grown any bananas yet. I should save that, but yeah, I'm gonna eat the banana. Bananas give you a lot of food. Yeah, perfect. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know if there's other things you want me to do in Scrap Mechanic Survival. We're doing pretty good. I'm gonna work on building the castle up more. I think the next thing is to build a mining vehicle. Now that we have this nice little space in here, I mean, I'm not too mad about this. You know, we're gonna build this up, obviously, but I'm out of resources yet again. So now that we've got this nice little garage space, definitely gonna build ourselves a wonderful little mining vehicle that can do all that stuff. And then, yeah, just push the resource rods into here, get more wood, organize these chests, build more chests, and then just have like a wonderful, wonderful nomad experience. But this is great. I like having a proper garage door. That's nice. You don't even realize what time of day it is outside, really, when you're in here, because it's just, you know, it's so peaceful. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hit those buttons, and as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.